Every day, millions of people open a chat window, type a question, get an answer, and then do the actual work themselves. They copy the text, they format the document, they move the file, they send the email, and they never stop to ask, why am I still the one doing all of this? Because here's what nobody told you about AI assistants: the version most people use was never designed to finish the job. It was designed to advise on the job. There is a different mode, a different layer, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is AI Systems Insider. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on Claude Co-work, not as a product review, but as a systems breakdown. 7 capabilities, real operational logic. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where your current AI workflow breaks down and how to fix it. Part 1. The diagnosis: why your chatbot is only half an answer. Let's start with an honest systems analysis. Claude Chat, the interface most people use, operates on what we'll call a recommendation layer. You give it a task. It gives you a response. You implement that response yourself. It's a brilliant advisor sitting across the table from you. But when the meeting ends, you still have to go do the work. Now, Claude Co-work operates on the execution layer. Same intelligence, fundamentally different relationship to your workflow. Here are 3 structural differences that explain everything. 1. Where data lives. Chat uploads your files to the cloud. That creates hard limits: 20 files per conversation, 30 megabytes per file. If your work exceeds those bounds, the system fails you before it even starts. Co-work reads your files directly from your local machine. No upload, no limits. A 400 megabyte PDF is the same as a 4 megabyte one. 2. Where output goes. Chat delivers results inside a chat window. You copy, format, save, and file that output manually, every time. Co-work writes results directly to your folder. The deliverable is already where it needs to be before you've finished reading the response. 3. How you communicate. This one is subtle but important. With chat, you use task-first language. You describe what you want Claude to do, step by step. Review this, recommend that, format it like this. With Co-work, you use outcome-first language. You define the end state, the constraints, and the quality bar, and then you step back. I have 15 raw thumbnail photos in this folder. Organize them into subfolders by topic with descriptive file names. That's it. 3 minutes later, it's done. This shift sounds small. In practice, it changes the entire nature of what AI can do inside your workflow. Part 2, capability number 1, local file access. Let's move through the 7 capabilities not as a feature list, but as a systems architecture. Capability 1, local file access. This is the foundation everything else is built on, and the use cases reveal exactly how far it reaches. Scenario 1. You have over 100 receipts, a mix of PDFs and JPEGs, and you need an expense report. Date, vendor, category, amount, totals row, and flagged entries for anything unclear. In a chat interface, you hit the 20-file wall before you even get started. In Co-work, every file is read, every image is processed. The Excel spreadsheet appears in your folder, flagged rows included. Scenario 2. A 400 megabyte PDF that needs to be broken into individual chapters for easier AI processing downstream. Co-work identifies the natural section breaks, names each file descriptively, and saves them all back to your folder. Scenario 3, and this one matters for anyone working with AI-generated content. You have a presentation created by Notebook LM where every slide is a static image. Uneditable, unusable, Co-work reads all the slides, understands the underlying content, and rebuilds the entire presentation as a real editable PowerPoint. It's not perfect, but it's operational. The pattern across all 3, Co-work doesn't stop at the edge of the chat window. It reaches into your file system, does the work, and hands you a finished artifact. Part 3, capability number 2, persistent access. Now we get to what is arguably the most strategically important capability in this entire system: persistent memory. Here's the problem with cloud-based AI memory: it's bounded. There's a ceiling. And that ceiling is imposed by the same infrastructure that handles millions of users simultaneously. Cowork's memory model is architecturally different. Because it has local file access, Cowork can write what it learns to actual files on your machine. A Dutchclam.mdh file. A Dutch memory.mdh file. These aren't abstractions, they're markdown documents sitting in your folder, growing richer every time you correct Cowork, every time you set a preference, every time you refine a workflow. Think about what that means operationally. You start a brand new session, no conversation history, no context window carryover. You ask Cowork how many newsletter editions you've produced together and which tools each one covered. It loads its memory files. It tells you 7 editions, 2 for Gmail, 2 for Chrome, and so on. That's not magic. That's a system that writes to disk. The more practical use case, you ask Cowork to summarize a meeting transcript. It gives you a version. You edit it, you restructure something, move context higher up, change the emphasis. Then you tell Cowork, compare your version to mine. Figure out what I changed. Save those preferences. It reconciles the 2 versions. It extracts the delta. And it writes your stylistic preferences to the memory file permanently. Next session, different transcript, same preferences. You don't explain yourself again. This is how AI goes from a tool you use to a system that learns your work. Part 4, capability number 3, tools and connectors. By default, Cowork can only see what's in your local folder. Connectors change that. They let Cowork reach into the external systems you already work in: Gmail, Google Drive, Notion read from them, and work directly inside them. The first use case is tone extraction. You connect Gmail, point Cowork at your last month of outgoing emails, and ask it to distill your writing style into a set of principles it can follow going forward. It reads, identifies patterns, and saves those principles to your memory file. Next time you draft an email, it already knows how you sound. The more sophisticated use case involves 2 connectors working in parallel. Your team uses Notion for meeting notes. Your transcripts live in Google Drive, auto-generated by Gemini. These 2 documents are supposed to tell the same story, but in practice, action items fall through the cracks between them. You tell Cowork, pull the transcript from Drive, pull the notes from Notion, cross-reference them, surface everything that was said but never written down. It does exactly that. 2 sources. 1 unified accountability layer. And if the tool you need isn't in the connector library, there's a path called MCP, Custom Connectors, that extends the system further. That's a topic for its own video. But the architecture supports it. Part 5, capability number 4, skills. Skills are where Cowork stops being reactive and starts being systematic. Here's the underlying logic. Any workflow you've done once and refined through iteration can be encoded as a skill, a set of instructions Cowork executes the same way every time without being retaught. The simple version, you ask Cowork to make something more clear and concise. You like the result. You tell Cowork to turn what it just did into a skill. It asks clarifying questions. It builds the skill. You install it. From that point forward, make it clearer is a one-click operation. The complex version, and this is where it gets operationally interesting, is multi-step workflow capture. Imagine you receive raw weekly updates from 3 different teams, each in a completely different format. Your job is to synthesize them into one clean leadership report. You've done this manually for months. You walk Cowork through the process once. You iterate on the output lead with 3 top-line metrics, then highlights and lowlights, keep it under 300 words, deliver as a PDF. You get the result right. Then you tell Cowork, go back through our conversation and build a skill that captures this entire workflow. It asks clarifying questions. It runs test scenarios with hypothetical data. It produces a skill file. You install it. Next week, 3 new updates, same prompt, same output structure, same PDF. in minutes. 3 operational notes on skills. 1. Build skills by doing the actual work first, then reverse engineering, not by describing the skill abstractly from the start. 2. Back your skills up to Google Drive. They don't transfer automatically to a new machine. 3. Update skills iteratively by telling Co-work exactly what to change, then reinstalling the updated file. Skills are the mechanism by which Co-work compounds. Every workflow you teach it becomes permanent leverage. Part 6, capability number 5, Co-work projects. Claude Chat has projects, Co-work has projects too, but they're not the same thing. The surface-level experience is similar a persistent context container for a specific area of work. The difference is what happens inside. In a chat project, when Claude learns something new about your preferences and you want to save it, Claude can generate an updated knowledge file for you. But you still have to manually delete the old version and upload the new one yourself. In a Co-work project, you say, "Save this principle to the Clarity Partner project," and Co-work writes it directly to the instruction file. No manual steps. No version management friction. This might seem like a minor convenience. At scale, across weeks of iteration, it's the difference between a system that compounds and one that plateaus. Part 7, capability number 6, browser extension. This is the capability that comes with an honest caveat. Co-work can theoretically hand tasks off to the Claude browser extension, letting it navigate, interact with, and extract from web pages autonomously. In practice, not yet. 3 problems. It's slow. Every action requires a screenshot sent back to Co-work before the next decision is made. Its unreliable tasks frequently stall midway through without completing. And it's expensive in terms of usage because it overthinks every step. It burns through your allocation fast. Beyond the extension itself, there's a broader web search limitation worth naming. Unlike Claude Chat, where you can force web search on or off mid-conversation, Co-work can't force a web search. When it tries to look something up, it often reaches for the extension, and you already know how that goes. This is a real gap in the current system. Not fatal, but honest. The rest of the capabilities work. This one needs time. Part 8, capability number 7, scheduled tasks. Other AI platforms have scheduled tasks. Gemini has them. ChatGPT has them. But there's a reason Co-work's implementation is the one that actually works reliably, and it goes straight back to the architecture we've been building throughout this video. Scheduled tasks are only as good as the system running underneath them. Here's a real operational example, a daily 6 a.m. inbox triage that runs automatically. Every morning before you open your laptop, Co-work has already read every email in your inbox, categorized them against a set of saved rules, drafted contextually relevant replies, and produced a structured report ready to review. How does that actually work? First, local file access. The Inbox Zero rules your workflow is built on are saved as a markdown document in your Co-work folder. Not in a chat window, not in your head. On disk. Second, connectors. Co-work is connected to Gmail. It reads every email in real time, maps each one against your saved rules, and generates draft replies that match your tone of voice. Third, persistent memory. In the beginning, the drafts weren't quite right. You gave feedback. Co-work wrote those corrections to the memory file. Week by week, the drafts got sharper. Now they require almost no editing. What you're looking at isn't a feature. It's a compounding system. Local files give it knowledge, connectors give it reach, memory gives it judgment, scheduled tasks give it autonomy. All 4 working together, that's the architecture of AI that actually runs part of your workday. Step back from the individual capabilities for a moment and look at what they form together. Local file access is the foundation. Persistent memory is the intelligence layer. Connectors extend the reach. Skills encode the logic. Projects organize the scope. Scheduled tasks remove the human trigger. The browser extension is the one piece that isn't ready yet. And that's fine, every system has one piece still being built. What this architecture represents isn't a better chatbot. It's a shift in what AI is allowed to be in your workflow. not an advisor you consult, an operator you configure. The gap between those two things is where most people are leaving the most value on the table. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe to receive to this channel. This is AI Systems Insider.